Hey, I'm Orla Performance Yoga, and I want to go through with you a couple of yoga slash physio related moves and exercises that can be particularly beneficial for the knees. So, I'd be a runner. That'd be probably my favourite sport, the one I think I'm most suited to. Cycle a little bit, and I know myself that running and cycling can put a bit of pressure on the knee joints. So, I tend to try and do some of these exercises on a regular basis to try and help preserve my knee health, I suppose, the best way to describe it. These muscles, your quads, they're very important for your knee function. The other really important muscles are your glutes. So a lot of the focus today on these moves are going to be on glute and quad work, building both of these areas so that these guys can be pretty strong. A little bit of core stuff as well, gentle stuff. So just to start off with, we kind of warm the knees up simply, really easily, by bringing yourself back onto your back and hugging your knees tight to your chest. Give yourself a little rock side to side, and that can help just soften out the lower back area, the middle of the spine. Depends on what kind of day you've had or are having. Sometimes it's just nice to get into this position, give yourself a little treat, a hug. Stretch out the backs of the legs a little bit, just send the legs right up to the ceiling, and you can give the backs of your hamstrings a little gentle rub there. You can twirl around the ankle joints as well, because your feet are quite important in terms of any standing poses or standing exercises that you do. We'll give a gentle stretch to the outer hip now. Take your right ankle and right foot, or cross over your left knee, and hug that left thigh in towards you. And keep a gentle little rock side to side going on there now. Nice and easy. That's what it's all about. It's all supposed to be quite doable. None of these should be feared. We'll try the opposite side. Cross the left foot out over across the right knee and give that area a small little bit of a hug here. A small bit of a rock from side to side. When you're in a position like this, the main place to feel the stretch is on the outer left hip. Once you've got that going, take the knees just up above your hip level, hip height, and take the feet, the shins or the ankles, take them to the same level as your knees. Now, the main area that's switched on right now is this area. It's the tummy area. Put your hands on it and have a feel. Feel through a few things, but you feel the muscle right there working. Stimulated, it's active. It's going to keep your lower back strong. It's going to keep your hips and pelvis in the best stable position that it can do. We're just waking it up a little bit now before we get into the stronger knee exercises. So when you're in a position like this, you tend to sometimes arch your back off the floor. I just want you to gently press the lower back down onto the floor. It's going to activate this muscle here just a little bit more. Take the arms up overhead, shoulders away from your ears. You find deep belly breaths there just to get the tummy muscles stimulated, the core muscles stimulated. Once you're in that position, hug those knees in again. We've woken up a few areas now already, which is great. We'll just release the groin muscles a tiny little bit now as well by taking the feet down and then begin to take the knees apart from each other. And when you do that, you just breathe. There's no hardship to it. There's no work involved. You're just allowing the knees to drift out left and right, getting just a gentle opening hip stretch. Depends on what you were doing all day. If you were sitting at a desk with your legs crossed like this, it's nice just to give a little stretch out. Take it handy. All right. And take those knees back up to your tummy. Rock yourself up to sitting if you can, and stretch those legs out straight ahead of you. Now, when you sit out into this position, often, especially if you've been working at a desk for a lot of the day, or I have to say if you're a cyclist, they do have to lean forwards to the handlebars. And you want to try and get out of that around your position for a little while during your stretching session or your yoga session, your strength and conditioning session, whatever you want to call it. So in yoga, there are little yoga bricks or yoga blocks, but I mean, you could just use a couple of books at home if you don't have the likes of these. These are just sturdy little bricks, so you find yourself something that looks like them. Get your bum up onto them and stretch the legs out nice and tall. A hell of a lot easier to keep a straight neutral spine in that position rather than having your bum on the ground. Tight hamstrings will just kind of bring you into that position. All we're going to do is a gentle twist here for the spine just to warm it up. So instead of having the feet floppy out to the side, keep the 2 feet active and keep the toes pointing up to the ceiling. You'll notice straight away that makes the quad muscles kind of wake up and just alert them a little bit. Take that right foot in towards you, right hand goes behind you, it's a gentle turn to the right. You can hook the left elbow around the outside of the right knee there. Lift your spine and twist a little further. Take a deep breath in, lifting your spine every time. And by lifting, I just mean coming out of this rounded position that you might get caught up in during any day. Driving, phones, laptops, everything takes you down. So let's lift yourself up away out of those regular daily positions. We all get into them. Good stuff. Once you're there, after about 6 breaths, you can take yourself right around to the center point, swap sides, take the left foot into your side, or into your waist, hip area, groin area, and turn to the left. When you're turning to the left, don't forget about that right foot. It might flop away and down to the side, so just try and keep that active, because that's actually warming up the right knee. You're getting 2 for 1 here if you can keep all of these things going. But sometimes if you're new to the practice, new to just doing these few moves, there's often 5 or 6 things to think about with every pose, but just allow yourself to do as much as you can in the best way that you can do for your body. Back to the center point, cross those legs, lift the chest and spine on a breath in, and round it on a breath out. So this is just a little bit of loosening out. It isn't about forcing anything, breathing in as you lift your head and chest, breathing out as you round your spine and tailbone. This is like cat-cow, if you've ever seen cat-cow in yoga. That's pretty much a similar thing for the spine. Inhaling as you breathe in and energize yourself. Exhaling as you just try and let go and de-stress. Nice easy moves. Great stuff. Just roll out the wrists, because we might put a little bit of pressure down through those wrist joints a little bit. Give the shoulders a little bit of a shrug. Forwards a couple of times. Backwards a couple of times. Forwards, whatever way you look at it. Just a couple of easy going movements. And we'll take ourselves to standing. So get rid of those blocks, or in fact we might just put them up. They're about hip distance apart. Your hip distance is roughly 2 of your fists put side by side, and then stand with your feet roughly hip distance apart as well. Same sort of thing. When you're ready, inhale the arms all the way up to the ceiling. Exhale, bend the knees deeply, bring your hands down onto those 2 blocks. Now my hands are lightly on them, I'm not gripping too tight. Inhale, let the hips go up as high as you can. Exhale, lower them down. Now, don't bring up those hips as high as you would do if you bent your spine into that position. I'd love if you kept your spine nice and straight here. Inhaling, lifting the hips to as high as you can with a straight spine. Exhaling, lowering the hips. So you're just getting yourself into this gentle little flow of movement. And what it's doing for you is just mobilizing your hamstrings. It's not stretching, it's not strengthening, it's kind of doing a combination of both. It's just getting mobility, circulation, all those good things that you want in those areas. Getting us ready. Bend the knees deeply, lift the chest and spine, and take your hands into your heart center. In that position, we're working these guys, these quads, we're strengthening them. Shoulders relax. The lower you can get your hips, the better, but do keep that chest up. It's not too hard for the quads to keep your chest down here. So if you keep lifted there, and knees out over the feet, so the knees are in that position rather than touching in together. Hold yourself there, but don't hold your breath. Brilliant. That's it, isn't it? Inhale the arms all the way up. Exhale the hands down to the 2 blocks. We'll just do a little hamstring work again. Inhale those hips up. Exhale, lower the hips. Good stuff. Inhale the hips up. Exhale, lower the hips down one more time, and we'll take the hands back into the heart center for another little quick chair pose. In that position, do lift your chest. Maybe if you feel you saw yourself in a side profile, you saw too much arch there, tuck the tailbone down the tiniest little bit. Relax the shoulders. And breathe into the belly area. You're doing well. Let's bring the hands back to the blocks. Bring those blocks up to the front. And then shake out the legs. So hopefully that got these guys working pretty hard. We're going to get the glutes and the quads working together now through a very easygoing warrior position. So left foot forwards up near the left block, and the right foot goes back along the mat. Bend your left knee and bring that left knee directly over the heel, right over it. You should always be able to see the big toe if you were to glance down at that leg. Great. And then the hips are nice and level. Strong, straight back leg. And you breathe. Now our legs are set up here for what's called Warrior 2. There's lots of different options that we could choose. Just bring the left arm out to start with, right arm out behind. Lengthen and reach those arms as far away from you as you can. And make sure those shoulders haven't crept up. Make sure they're as relaxed as they can be. Now the priority today, knees. We're going to really keep that knee over the heel. It might drift in. You've got to keep an eye on it and keep it out. This back knee is strong and straight. It's a supportive leg here. Reverse the warrior, back hand to the back leg as the front arm reaches to the ceiling. Take a nice big belly breath there. Keep that front knee just where it was. That can be the hard part. Excellent. Now we'll take the hands to the blocks. Or if they're not there, you might have had a chair there or something. And we can just shake out those legs there. So we got two things working there. We got quads and we got glutes. I'm just going to move these blocks. And we're going to try that one on the other side. So the right foot in front this time. Left leg back as far as it can go. The right knee is over the right heel, and you can always see the big toe if you were to look down. If that right knee in front had drifted inwards, you wouldn't see the big toe, and that's your cue for you to know that your knee has kind of moved out of the right position to get good, strong, healthy knees. Let's take that knee right out over the ankle, over the heel, and the back leg is nice and strong. Float the arms up to Warrior 2 positioning. Reach those hands far away from each other. There's so much more to get than just knee, glute and quad health from this. We can really build on the upper body strength as well if we really want to. Big belly breaths here. And then we'll go back into the reverse warrior, peaceful warrior as it's known. But the difficulty is that front leg might move. I prefer you to keep it just where it is to really build your strength. You can look up at the top hand, you don't have to, but you can do. Challenges the balance a little bit more. Back to Warrior 2. And then you can step yourself forward. Ooh, so hopefully those legs are waking up just a little bit more now. So just to work those two glute muscles the tiniest little bit more. A lot of you who come to my classes will know this one. For those of you who haven't, just step yourself close to a wall, hold onto it, and take your right foot over onto your left knee. Slowly squat yourself down as if there's a chair underneath you that you're trying to get your bum onto. It's really important not to lean forwards onto your toes here. This one's about leaning back onto your heel a little bit more. Lift your chest. Try not to be way down here. Stay up nice and tall. See if you can get your hands in toward each other. Breathe here. Can be a challenge. Try not to stick the tail out too far. You don't want too much of an arch there. Just want it to be nice and strong. Good. How long can you hold that one for? A lot of work to do in it. And you can shake that leg out. Woo. And try the other side. So the other side, you can stay near the wall, but I'm going to just show it to you from the front profile just so you get an idea of what it looks like. So standing there, get that left foot over on top of the right knee, hands into your heart center, and then you're going to ease your way down. Just go as low as you feel comfortable on any given day. Some days you might feel like you could go a little bit lower. Breathe here, lift the chest a little bit. And if you want to really strengthen yourself in this pose, this top leg, you gently push it down onto the thigh. So you create a nice bind between the two legs, which can really make both of them work pretty hard. Really, that one's all about the glutes both sides. Nice deep breath there. And then come up, shake it out. Excellent. Really nice way to wrap that one up. Quick 15 minutes for you is just to finish where you started. Take yourself onto your back and hug your knees tight. Rock gently side to side and wrap it up for yourself today. Well done. With a little glute stretch again. So just right foot over left thigh, hugging the left thigh in. You can do a little easy rock there. That's not a bother. You don't have to. Just options. Do what feels right for you. And the same on the opposite side. Nice deep belly breath, and if you have lots of time now, if you wanted to continue this practice, you can just stretch out your legs. Hands onto your belly, or your hands stroke. Give yourself a little bit of time in this pose called Shavasana. And let everything chill. Pause it right now if you'd like to stay here. Otherwise, I'll bring you up. Well done. Namaste. Let me know how you get on with that one.